Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where I just bulldozed this road here, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this off camera? This is content. So we are, of course, going to be rebuilding it. I just didn't like the way that it was set up there, and you can kind of see how it went in here previously, and it like carved through this hill. It wasn't great. So we're just going to get this rebuilt. I want to be in Curve Tool. This is showing up as in water. I think we might have to tick the game here a bit. Okay, that's definitely showing up as in water. But I'd prefer it to be more like this. So, what do we have going on here with this in water situation? I think we just need to get this terraforming softened a bit up over through here. I suspect this is what we need. It's very dark. It's a little hard to tell what's going on. I'm actually going to turn off, for purposes of right now, the day-night visuals. Okay, there we go. Now we'll need to see what's going on here. Looks like we just need to let the water flow off. Good to know. There's no power over here right now. That is almost certainly because this transformer station doesn't have road access. So that's fine. We'll take a look at that after we get this road built, if it's still a problem. So now that this water is mostly runoff, it's not fully runoff yet. Okay. We'll give it a moment. How's that? That's still showing up as in water. Okay. I guess it must be this over here. Well, no, this is working fine. If we built like that, it's this right here that's showing up as in water. I guess I do see a little bit of water there. Yeah, the water's like emerging from the land. Okay. I mean, technically that is how water works. You can have water exude out of the land like that, so sure. We just need to give it a little time to run off. So, yeah, there's currently a significant issue, I think, with power. But we can just run this somewhat like that. I'm much happier with this road. It's not ideal. And I'm going to redo it again. We're going to take it back to here. Let that water get out of there. And I want to bring this road up to... Well, I want it to be at this 180-degree marker, right? At 180 degrees, this is showing up as in water. So we're letting it run for a moment, and hopefully that water will get out of there. There we go. And then I'd like to just bring it right on in with a bit of a gentle curve, about like that. Okay, now this up over here should probably be connecting somewhere up here, right? But that's apparently sloped too steep. Fair enough. Okay. I'm actually going to remove this. Hang on. I'm thinking about this. And I have thought about it. I would prefer to move it up over here if we could figure out a way to do that. There's just not quite enough space here. We could put it here instead. I like that idea better. So that would mean running a power line over this highway, which is a doable thing. Absolutely. We would bring that over to, like, here-ish, right? But we would need to elevate this over here. So I'm going to get rid of this section of power line. That's mission 1. Mission 2 is that we would bring this guy in over here, like that. Mission 3 is that we would bring this guy over here. And then we would look to just link that in like that. Okay. Now, of course, we don't need this section of power line over here. So that can be gotten rid of. And then we can take this section of road out, make sure that this is relatively softened out over here. Something kind of like this. In fact, we could just completely redo this road with the idea being, and yeah, that's going to create some water over here, but we can just completely redo this road. We're not going to have any like timing issues there, but we can just soften this guy right on out. What's that doing? Okay, we just need to let the water run out. Cool. Anytime you want to exit water, that would be great. It's just some very, very wet terrain there. I think that's the takeaway. So now that that's exited, I want to redo this a little bit, bringing it up and around like so. And then I'd like to bring this up and around over here and then curve it in about like that. Something along those lines. This road is going to need to be extended upward, though. And it would bring in about right here. Okay. I'm fine with this. This is reasonably fine. Cool. Now, obviously this elementary school... Oh, and we need to tick forward and see if our power... How's our power doing? Flow plus 196 megawatts. It's only this side of the river. So I'm pretty sure that the issue here is the fact that we moved this transformer station, right? I'm 99% certain about that. Transformer capacity is 80 megawatts. It's 16% usage. Yeah, that got solved. Perfect. So that is as expected. Now, we have very, very large demand for our low-density residential. No doubt about that. I just noticed it's 15:11. That is not very late for being pure night. Well, it is winter, so there is some of that going on. Hi, clouds. This clearly is not necessarily intended to be viewed from above, these clouds. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So we're going to hop over here, and this elementary school, of course, means that this road is not going to be cross-cutting this direction. So we need to bring up this road for the time being. And that's going to go to here. Straight line tool, please. That's going to go to here. And then it's going to be 90 degrees in water and slope too steep. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't actually want this to be this low. What I actually want to do out over here is level out the terrain over here at about this level. So I want to bring this out and have quite a cliff going into the actual river here, right? And then this is going to be very, very extreme in terms of its altitude shift. No doubt about that. But I want quite a large amount of terrain right here. So now we're going to soften this region right on out. And we can soften this out as well. We can add in more terrain volume over this way if we have issues with it, but I don't think we'll have significant issues with it. The issues are, of course, going to be right here, right? So we can work on softening that out a bit, but what we really need is to just make this slightly more gradual throughout here. And that does mean that Autumn Street is probably going to have to be redone as well, just because of the altitude differences here. So we just get this terraformed back a wee bit. And as far as this nonsense over here goes, I'm going to turn our brush size down a fair amount. And I'm just going to soften that out of here a little bit. Something about like that, ish. Okay. Now, I really do want this to get softened out, but that's probably relatively soft enough. Relatively. Okay. So that gives us a pretty decent grade here. The question is... Oh, that was straight line tool. I wanted a curve tool. The question is, how does this go if we attempt to build this out here? So I want this to be about here-ish, I think. And then we just curve it up along this cliff, right? And then we bring it in about like that. And then up over here. It can go almost exactly straight. Just bringing it in over this way, like that. I feel like that's a lot better in terms of the road altitude, although it definitely has some dips over here that I wasn't really looking for, but it's probably good enough. So let's go into the straight line tool, and let's bring this guy up the 113, 112 meters, somewhere around in there. And then bring this guy straight on in. Yep, that looks correct. Then we're going to need to bring this up again to be about... here. And that's going to run straight over to this road, right? And then we'll also need a connection right over here, which that's giving us slope too steep. Given what we've got going on here, I'm not shocked by that. So I'm just going to take this section out for the moment. We can run this guy over to be here. And then we can run this like that. And then this like that. That should go a lot better. No problem there. This road, of course, connects straight on up over here. Looks good? Question mark. Yes, looks good. And then this road would, of course, connect in right over here. Cool. Now I'd bring this up to go here, and this will need to connect in over this way again. No problem. And connecting up over here, creating a triangle. Where's our 90-degree marker? We're snapping to geometry here, which is probably the issue. Yep.
Pending updates to
there
our
we go.
power grid, the city will be experiencing rolling blackouts. We urge the public to
Will
remain
we?
calm during these breaks in service.
Did we
and
upgrade
follow
our
the
power
guidelines
grid?
on the
I mean,
city's
we
website
did.
on
We
how to
changed
plan for
this
these
this
temporary
dam
events.
significantly. We're
This is
waiting
a local
on
public
the
service
water
announcement.
level rising over here. So that's intriguing. I don't think we actually did change it all that much, though. What do we got going on here? The question is, which of these is actually wrong? We don't really want to move either, so this is clearly slightly off here. I'm just going to say it's okay. And we're going to bring this guy over like this, and we're just going to have this one be slightly askew.
Welcome,
It's
Professor.
fine.
So,
I'm
housing
sure it'll be
shortage
okay.
is bad
So we'll bring
for
this up
people
to
trying
here.
move right?
There we go. We're just looking to get a couple of meta blocks going here that we can do some fancy, oh, I forgot to mention, we hit large city 12 when I loaded up. I don't know why that happens, but we did. So we need to get a fairly large amount of space available for our low density residential, right? That's the goal here. Absolutely, that is the goal. So we're going to bring this over to about here and bring that right on in. Phenomenal. And then right on over here. Cool. Ah, yes, this ad. I don't know why it always turns the ads back on, but it does. Let's turn those off for now. Every time I restart the game, it turns them back on, which is, you know, mildly irritating. That's one of those things that I really wish it would save. We've got a pillar issue here, so that's fine. We can eliminate this. No major issues there. And we can, of course, build our road straight on out. About like
Thanks, Jim. We'll be
so.
back
So
at
that'll connect in approximately here. Good enough. That's technically 91 degrees. I'm sure it's fine. So we're going to bring it on over to here and connect that in right on over there. Cool. That'll do for now. And we will bring this guy up to here, and that will connect directly over like that. And then this should also connect in over this direction. Where's 90 degrees? I guess that's close enough. Ooh, I don't like the way this intersection formed, though. Let's try that again. So we would bring that in. That's better. Still kind of awkward, but, you know, with this sort of an intersection, we expect it to be awkward. So that's absolutely fine. Let's go into our highway mode. And we're just going to bring this up in elevation and bring that straight on down. No pillar issue there now. Now, we do need a highway that comes this direction, right? That is definitely something that we need. And to that end, it's going to be kind of awkward any way we slice it. Right about here, actually, is probably about the height we need to be going for. Probably. We can turn down the elevation step and just run some quick checks here. So I want this to be snapped to the angle, right? So right there. No, I think this is the right altitude. So just put it in right there. Then, as we go through here, we can see that it definitely does drop off, right? So I'm going to put us back up to the altitude step. We'll go to 50 meters. 50 meters is actually the highest that we can go. So, sure, I guess we'll go here. It's just going to dip down a little bit. That's, of course, going to be running pretty much smack dab into this road. So this road doesn't actually need to exist. Let's get that out of there for now. And we're going to continue to build this highway across, or as across as we can. So we're going to have to check altitudes here. I want to snap only to angle at this point. No snapping other than angle, because we're going to need to be checking the altitude as we come through, right? So here should be fine. As we come up over here, of course, we're going to run into some slope too steep issues. We don't need to be at this altitude here. So once we get here, we want to be at, in theory, 10 meters. Yes, this looks correct, actually. I'm surprised at how painlessly this is going. So that's giving overlapping items, but we can just send it straight through and slap in our roundabout. No problem there. Okay, cool. I'm actually kind of flummoxed at how easily that went. So we're just going to bring this out over here and then out to the city limits, about like that. Wonderful. That went really, really, really well. So obviously, as far as our roads go, these two roads aren't going to connect over. This one is, which means that it needs to come out here 112 or 113. We've been going 112. That'll go down to approximately here. Now that slope too steep over here, yeah, we'll have to think about how we want to handle that. For now, I'm just going to use these as distance markers. So something like that, and then this guy would connect over, well, right there. I mean, really, this would come over here, right? In theory. So, like, literally right there. But we don't actually have these downward going roads over here, so we'll just take that out for now. And we'll just leave it like this. So as far as that goes, we can definitely think about pulling... Actually, I didn't like that. Shouldn't have gotten rid of that, but it's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soften this terrain over this way. I want to get this out of here for now. Okay, let's increase our brush size back up to 100. And let's just soften this out a bit. Or sharpen the terrain. Actually, sharpening the terrain does sound like it's actually the plan here. So what that ends up meaning is we sharpen it up to exactly here, right? That's all the sharper we can get it seems. So that pretty much limits where we can put our roads, which is fine. So that means, of course, that we put this down to, in theory, here. Yes, that seems absolutely correct. So then this guy would go here, and then this would go straight out to the city limits, in theory, like that. Okay, so yeah, that definitely does the trick. So now, of course, this section of road could be deleted, but we don't need to, because we can just run this out to be... What's this distance supposed to be? Call it 220? Okay. So something like 220 here. 223. I mean, this is dead on with the other road. So we'll call that good. Bringing it in right here. This road, of course, connects straight on in, like that. And then all of these go up to this guideline. So literally right here. Cool. We're going to be a little bit off here and there in our length because of things like altitude, which is absolutely fine. As long as our guidelines are good, it'll be fine. So we'll just get in position here and then bring that straight on out to the city limits. Okay, so this meta block is pretty much ready to go, as is this one. On-off ramps are a thing that are needed. And we'll have to figure out how exactly we want to do that. So over here, this should actually be an off-ramp. And I think we can squeeze an off-ramp here, but not really anything else. So an off-ramp would end up coming out like over here potentially and coming in like that. That's giving overlapping items. I'm not shocked about that. Can we get it in over here? That's a very, very short off-ramp. So it probably is going to end up having to be out over this way, right? And then just come in like that. Which that'll do for now. No other ramps on this section of highway. That's the only one that actually fits in there. So that'll be okay. Over here, of course, on-off ramps are going to be pretty standard. So that'll be fine. Snap only to angles, please. That will be very convenient. And then we're just going to bring this right on in and right on out. Wonderful. Up here, off-ramp and on-ramp. So that'll do for now, and then we'll need to do them right over here. So on-ramp, that's giving slope too steep. We might have to bring it out a little further. This just gives overlapping items. Okay. What do we have for that slope? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a bit of an issue. Let's just get our off-ramp over here. Well, no, this is going to be the hard side, isn't it? Can we build an off-ramp over here? That's giving us a 25% grade. Okay, noted. Absolutely noted. Yeah, there is a pretty big drop-off there. No doubt about it. Okay, let's head up over here for the moment. I'm noticing this nonsense. Let's get rid of that for the moment and see what happens if we just rebuild this entire section of highway with the pillaring being slightly different. So if we do this, like, I want to have snapping back on. Thank you very much. If we do this like so, with the pillaring being here, and then here, here. We're actually a little off here, aren't we? Hang on. What's going on here? Yep, we've picked up a bit of a curve. No doubt about it. What's going on with that? We were definitely at 180 the whole way. Interesting. Well, we're just going to bring this guy out at 180. Maybe 179 is the way to go here. I don't know. But 180 there for now. 180 here for now. How are things looking here now? If we want to link it up like this, it's 176. Okay. I guess we'll build it the other direction and see how that goes with getting this set up. We might just need to take this roundabout out for now. We might have that in the wrong spot. That is a theoretical possibility. In fact, I'd even call that a probability. So we would bring this out to go here, right? That's 89 and 90 is close enough. And then it would go here at 180. Here at 180. Here at 180. And then, yeah. So I'm going to get rid of the roundabout. I'm going to get rid of this section of highway. And we're just going to rebuild this straight on through here. We just got the positioning slightly wrong. That also means that this transformer station actually needs to be moved. We can put it back down over here, and that's fine. So now we don't have to cross this highway, which is kind of convenient. So we can bring this guy directly in like that. That's actually a fair amount less power line, so we'll take that. I'm pretty sure we can just squeak on by here with our highway. We might have to move it again later, though. I'm not sure what the status of that's going. Ooh, yep. Fantastic. Perfect. Roundabout slams on in there. I think this block is maybe slightly long, but it's in line with everything else approximately. I mean, there's definitely a little bit of correction happening here for the grid, but that's reasonably fine. Okay, so now that that's all rebuilt, does that solve the on-off ramp issue? Almost certainly no is the answer, but let's find out. So we would bring that up and in. That slope too steep at a 23% grade. Okay, so let's just widen this out and see if we can get a nice wide one. Oh yeah, absolutely, that's fine. So we then bring this guy in around here-ish. It actually goes about here. Okay, it's not perfect, but it'll do. It does function. So then off-ramps here, which would in theory come in about there. Nice. And an on-ramp about there. Fantastic. So there we go. We're going to have a little bit of a gap in our roads here and there, but that's okay. Quite a grade drop-off right here, but I'm not too concerned about any of that. So this can all be light residential, right? So I'm just going to fill these in with the bucket tool because I don't want to get on the other side of Chester Street there for right now. So we'll just get all of those done for the moment. Cool. And everything in here.
You're listening to Second Moon Radio with
there we go.
Jay
Now we can
Chalmers
use the marquee select
and
tool
we're purveying
and just
some
make
of
sure
the
that this
finest
whole
classical
area
music
is
around the
zoned
air.
up
Keep that dial
and
right
that
here.
this whole area is zoned up.
Industry in the region is on
Phenomenal.
the rise, and when business is
There we
doing
go.
well,
So that
floats
gives us
our
a little bit
boat.
more
There's no
space here, but a
sinking this
lot
boat,
of this
Brenda.
space is eaten up by the river and by the university, right? So that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that ends up playing out. For now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to probably begin development of this area down here, would be my guess. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.